Hello and welcome once again to the Cade and Eric Show podcasts, brought to you by Faith, Family, Friends, and Freedom. I'd just like to get some housekeeping things out of the way. Of course, I have all of my socials that you can follow this on, the Cade and Eric Show. Anywhere you listen, I am on anything you can, any podcast, any platform, the Cade and Eric Show, Spotify, iTunes, Google, all that stuff. I also have a Facebook page, the Cade and Eric Show. Twitter or X, excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean to dead name it. X, Cade and Eric Show, True Social, Cade and Eric Show. To be honest, I'm not on that one as much, every once in a while, but the main ones are the Facebook page, X, and then TikTok to see, funny videos. And you can see my beautiful face. Cade and Eric Show on TikTok, X, the Cade and Eric Show on Facebook. So please like, subscribe, follow, and share. Then you can see all the content, and then you can know when anything is available. So I do have that, so please do all that, follow that, rate, appreciate it, appreciate all the new listeners, and definitely appreciate anybody who sticks around. I was just looking at some of the stats through the website that I go through to put this out, put this lovely content out for everybody, and it'll be 5 months old, the Cade and Eric Show, tomorrow. 5 months is when I first dropped the first 2 episodes, and what a journey it's been. This has been fun. This has been a very fun experience to do this, so I definitely appreciate it. We are many cities. I think there are about 50 cities that have downloaded and listened to the show. 4 countries. I mean, it's incredible. It's just an amazing experience to see this network grow. So I really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Now to get into things here, of course, we'll do the sports update here right off the bat. Then we'll do some more illegal things. AOC, Alexandria Cortez from New York, gives the reasons why people steal Gucci's and other really expensive things. Here, listen to her words of wisdom, if you will. So there's just a lot of things to get into this. The GOP debate was last night, the second one. I didn't really watch very much of it. I watched a little bit. It was just a really bad screaming match, it seemed. And, I mean, Donald Trump's not there, so it's like, I don't know. There's just way too many of them. I think there's way too many candidates. We need to kind of like thin the herd a bit. Some of them I'm okay. I like Vivek. I like DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, and then I was say Hunter Biden, but Mike Pence. Not so big there, and I'm not a fan of them. If you are, that's okay. That's what we have a country for. Is we can have differing opinions and we can agree and get along. That's what we're supposed to do here. But no, I don't like them. I don't want to continue this ridiculous war, proxy war with Russia and Ukraine. Let's end that and kind of let's put that thing to bed. So sports update. We had a big NFL weekend. We had a big college football weekend. Of course, the MLB playoffs will be starting here in a couple of weeks, or next week, I believe. The season officially ends on Sunday, so the AL West is definitely up for grabs still. The Astros they won the series against Seattle last night with a score of 8-3, so hopefully they can continue that, and because I don't know. I mean, a couple weeks ago they came into Arlington, ripped the Rangers apart, and then proceeded to lose, I believe it was 8 out of the last 11 until the series with Seattle. So, I don't understand. Yeah, we lost to the worst teams in baseball. We lost to the A's, lost the series to the A's, lost the first series to the Royals, and then got swept by the Royals at home. So, it was not a very great last couple weeks. So next week will be interesting. I will either be celebrating the Astros in the playoffs again, or it'll be a very sad day. So we'll just kind of have to see how this next week goes. This last week's baseball. But with The NFL, the 49ers won, makes them 3-0. The big news, of course, there's all this ridiculous drama with Taylor Swift and what's his face from Kansas City. I forget his name, but anyway, so there's apparently that they're a thing. Apparently, is why can't I think? Anyway, whatever his name is from the Chiefs. And Taylor Swift apparently they're going out, so that had to be broadcast all over social media, and I saw a whole bunch of it everywhere. So great, nice job, you picked the Democrat to date. So yeah, we have that. Phillies 3-0, Green Bay is 2-1. They're leading their division, and like I said, the 49ers are 3-0, so that's great. The 49ers look really good. It's really fun to cheer for them and look into that. So it's been fun. College football, there was a big win. FSU finally beat Clemson in Clemson. BYU did not win its first game in the Big 12. They lost to Kansas, which really sucks. I really hated that. But it's not, when they were independent, one loss would have kind of done them in, but no, we're in the Big 12 now, so that's not the end of the world. So hopefully things will be great. Let's look at the rankings for football. You got Georgia, Michigan, Texas. Texas had a huge win in Waco over Baylor. Ohio State, FSU dropped one more, even though they did win, but they barely beat Clemson in overtime, but it was a great win. Going out, finishing up the top 10 here, you got Penn State, Washington, USC, and Oregon. Oh, and then Utah. Well, you got Utah. But is the Cinderella story with Colorado over after their absolute obliteration in Eugene, Oregon, where they lost 42-6? Didn't really watch. I thought that would be more of a competitive game. Maybe I'm just ignorant to how good Oregon is, but I thought it would be more competitive. I thought it would be a little bit better. But no. Coach Prime got his butt kicked. And yeah, so that's kind of the sports update for right now. So now we'll get into things here. So you have more illegals crossing the border and they're just pouring in Eagle Pass here in Texas. We've got thousands and thousands of them every day. I think every day there's a new broken record of how many encounters they have or how many come across. It was like 7,000, then 9,000, and then 10,000. That's just one part. That's just one little section of our border that have thousands and thousands of illegals. And there was a nice flag, a nice, 10-foot by 30-foot flag from another country planted on its little island thing in the Rio Grande and part of Texas's side, where they just planted their flag. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it is an invasion. We're being invaded. You know that I mentioned that island in Italy that has just been invaded, and apparently it's doubled. There are more than double illegals on that island than there are actual residents. And at first they were like, oh, okay, we'll help these people out, I guess. But it's just gotten so out of control. I mean, what is this? I mean, it's an invasion of the West. You have people from China, you have people from all over the world just pouring across our border here in America. I mean, it's just, I don't know, what else do you call it? And they're not families with, a mom and a dad and, 4 little kids coming across looking for a better life. No, they're all like, they call them military age men pouring across our border. Who knows what they're here for? I mean, it's just ridiculous, because you have Americans who had to be vaccinated, who had to have all these things happen to them. But anytime an illegal comes, no, we don't have to vet them. We don't have to. There's no reason. We don't have to ask them why they're here, what they're doing. With Ellis Island, we have Alexandria Cortez, AOC. There's a video of her ranting and raving about the Ellis Island and all that, blah, blah, blah. But we knew if you were really sick or if you had a problem, you did not come through Ellis Island. You were sent back home to where you were from. That doesn't happen here today. This is not the same. They always joke about, this is not your father's immigrants, if you will. It's just absolutely insane what is going on our southern border. But you have here's a little montage of the Biden administration, from Biden through his press secretary to other members of his cabinet, just telling everybody that the border is secure. The border is secure. So let's take a listen to that.
Border is secure.
The president have worked very hard to implement a strategy when it comes to the border that is humane, safe, and has orderly enforcement.
Things are going at the border, sir.
Much better than you all expected.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
We have responded with a model approach that has proven to work.
We have taken unprecedented action over the past year and a half to secure our border.
We have a process in place to manage migrants at the border. We're working to make sure it's safe and orderly and humane.
The border is closed.
We agree that the border is secure.
We're executing a comprehensive strategy to secure our borders.
One of our highest priorities is to ensure that we have a secure border, and that is what we are doing.
We are stopping the flow at the border.
The border is secure.
I mean, they're just lying straight through their stupid faces. The border is not secure. We have thousands and millions of them every year pouring across, and for who knows what. They've told us they've encountered terrorists, people on the terrorist watch list. There was an ISIS sympathizer that was, bringing them across. So it is a real problem. It is a massive problem. I mean, I mentioned it last week. The blue cities, the sanctuary cities, they are upset. They are fed up, and they are realizing they have a little inkling of the pain that us on the actual border have been suffering for decades. And it is very, what do you want to call it? Satisfying is maybe like the wrong word to say that, but it's kind of satisfying though to realize that, hey, yeah, things aren't all nice and peachy at the border. You can sit up there in your northern states and be like, oh, that's just happening down there. The border probably isn't that bad. They'll listen to these idiots from the administration or the liberal media, and they're finding out now that it's actually a serious problem and we need to stop it. So yeah, it's just interesting, very, very interesting that they finally have woken up to what is going on. And here there's a really sad story that because there's so many illegals, migrants, they call them asylum seekers, but they're illegal immigrants. Don't let them try to trick you into calling them something different, but when they're just illegals. But they're taking over, they've taken over the Roosevelt Hotel. They're taking over businesses down there, restaurants. It's just run by illegals. That's all it is the whole hotel is just full of illegals, and they're actually trying to get people out of nursing homes. And here is one guy's who's a veteran, mind you. He's from I believe Korea. He's a Korean veteran, and this is his experience with what is going on with these illegals.
It was very disgraceful what they did to the people in Island Shores. They gave us time to get out, but they never said when, and they never said they were going to get us out. And then one day, there's a thing on the board, a notice on the board, you gotta be out by March 15th. I think that gave us like a month and a half to find out where we want to go. I thought my suitcases were going to be on the curb because I'm not that fast. If it wasn't for my daughter, they would have been on the curb. But that's what it happened, and that was it. I said, no, you're not moving me. And they said, yes, we are. And everything was done behind closed doors.
Yeah.
We didn't have a chance to actually make any attempt to stop them because there wasn't enough time.
So how sad is that? You have this veteran who was told to move because they needed more room for illegals. They needed more room to house these people. It's absolutely just disgraceful. It's absolutely just despicable that these people, that they, and they'll sit there and lie to your face that everything's fine, that this is good, but they're finally feeling the pain that we all have been feeling, and they'll sit there and lie to your face and tell you that everything is secure, everything is fine, when it's really not. It's not at all. So the only thing, we have to secure this border. Build the stinking wall. Demand that this wall be built, because how else do you stop this? You have Border Patrol agents directed by the Biden administration tearing down barbed wire that Texas has put out. Greg Abbott, they've put out. And, they're just moving the barbed wire across so more people can come in. So Greg Abbott told them, hey, no, go put that barbed wire back. And they did. It's just insanity. But on other news, I talked a lot about the border last week, so we'll kind of move on from that. But Vladimir Zelensky came to the U.S., that great guy right there. He came to the U.S., and of course he had his little handout wanting more money, even more money. So that was great. So glad that he came to visit and see how he was doing there. So that was awesome. I'd like to know, he comes, he addressed Congress and he addressed just different things. Why does this guy not wear a suit? How come he doesn't wear a suit? He wears like these green, army pants things with boots and then like some kind of a shirt. Why doesn't he wear a suit? If you're going to come and address the United States, the Congress or the president, why don't you dress accordingly? But I guess that doesn't really matter now, because Chuck Schumer, the majority leader of the Senate, has said that there's not a dress code for senators. Trying to because John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania who had the massive stroke, who can't really speak very well, he had some serious problems. He can't dress. He's in a hoodie and like gym shorts, or there's this clip of him. He at least it's a short sleeve button up, but it's a button up, and he's like in his gym shorts walking around. And I don't know. And I look around at different things. Our standards are lowering for everything. And here's what Ron DeSantis has to say about the dress code in the U.S. Senate. It's kind of funny.
Here, the U.S. Senate just eliminated its dress code because you got this guy from Pennsylvania who's got a lot of problems. Let's just be honest, like how he got elected. Well, he got elected because they didn't want the alternative, but he wears like sweatshirts and hoodies and shorts, and that's his thing. So he would campaign in that, which is your prerogative, right? If that's what you want to do. But to show up in the United States Senate with that and not have the decency to put on proper attire, I think it's disrespectful to the body. And I think the fact that the Senate changed the rules to accommodate that, I think speaks very poorly to how they consider that. Look, we need this country, we need to be lifting up our standards in this country, not dumbing down our standards in this country. And this is an example why.
Yeah, thank you very much. We need to be lifting up ourselves, not lowering ourselves. The morals and the standards of this country are just horrific. Look at the news, look at every major city in these urban areas where people are just running in. There's videos that I've seen on social media where you have people in Philadelphia just going into an Apple store, stealing all the phones, and the people recording are like, yeah, go get that phone, go get it. And you're just like, get your free iPhone, get your free tablet. And then, they proceed, in the next video, they proceed to just smash the phone, smash the tablets, dump water or juice or whatever it was, all over the tablets, all over the phones, and that's it. They're running into these stores, stealing things. Our standards are severely dropped. So let's think now would be a good time to play AOC's little explanation as to why they're doing all this.
They go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money, so you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night.
All the videos, they're not out there in the supermarket stealing bread, that's for damn sure. They're out there getting their Gucci purses, getting their iPhones, their iPads, their whatever, Macy's, last time I checked, Dillard's and Macy's and Apple, they didn't actually, Apple is a fruit, so that might be a little deceiving. Where people think, oh, I'm going to go to the Apple store and get some apples. Yeah, I'm going to get some Fuji apples, some Washington apples, some Granny Smiths. And then you go in and you're like, oh, I thought this was supposed to be an Apple store. It says Apple on it. There's an apple with a bite out of it. Where's all the apples? Oh, well, we'll just take these electronics instead and sell them or smash them outside the door. Whatever, but they're not out there stealing bread because they want to feed their families at all. That isn't what they're stealing. They're stealing a bunch of high-end merchandise just for the fun of it, either to keep for themselves or whatever. Who knows what else they're doing with it. I wouldn't think they would be able to sell it online. But here's one lady's reason as to why the looters are looting.
Somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's right.
Okay, so like I said, how does Macy's, Nike, or Gucci, how does that feed those old clothes? They don't have any food in any of those places, so how are you going to eat? Are you going to eat the clothes? Are you going to sit there and eat the Nike shoes? So anyway, here's the rest of it. There we go. Oh,
Reparations.
hold on. Let's start that over just a little bit.
That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations.
Oh,
That's reparations.
that's the reason.
Anything they want to take it because these businesses have insurance.
Oh.
They're gonna get their money back. My people aren't getting anything.
So there you go. That's the reason. Reparations. We gotta pay. These people think they're owed all this money and free crap because of something that somebody else did hundreds of years ago and they weren't affected by it. That's what it is. That's why. Because they want to get their free crap. So that's the reason there. That's the reason. AOC telling people that they're just out there getting their bread because they're just hungry. These people they're just hungry. They go into these high-end stores. Go into Nike because they got to get their shoes so they can go to the store. Because they don't want to do barefoot up there. In these different cities because who knows what you're gonna step on. I mean, they got needles, they got garbage, they got all kinds of crap. All over the streets, so you gotta get the Nikes, I guess, so you can run around into these other stores. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah, you gotta get those Nike shoes, and then you gotta go into the Gucci stores so you can look good while you're going to these stores. You gotta get your running. Also at Nike, you gotta get your running pants. Yeah, I guess I can kind of see that. You gotta get your sweatshirt, because you gotta look like Rocky when you're doing it. Yeah, good, okay. All right, I see what they're yeah, but and then they run into Wal. You see them running into Walmart, but I don't really ever see them coming out with a bunch of food. They don't really come out with food. I don't understand. I've seen a whole bunch of them before. That they run out with baskets full of laundry detergent. What is the significant, maybe I'm just naive to the criminal world, the underworld of the world, but what is the deal with stealing a whole bunch of laundry detergent? Is that maybe somebody can, and update me on that on one of my socials, just X me, that just doesn't sound very good, X me. And show me what it is. Tweet. There we go. We'll say that. Tweet me and let me know as to why these people are stealing a bunch of laundry detergent, because is that involved in like drugs? Is that involved in, I don't know what the heck that's not the world I'm in, so I don't have no idea. But yeah, so I don't understand. Yeah, so when they go into Walmart, I don't see them coming out with food very often. I see them come out with a whole bunch of electronics. Yeah, I see them a bunch of TVs. A whole bunch of that stuff, just not a whole bunch of food. I've never really seen a basket full of like grapes or bananas or, bread, as AOC clearly laid out. That's what they're doing. So, yeah. But, these companies, they'll get reimbursed though. That's for sure. They'll get reimbursed because they'll get their money back. They won't get their merchandise back, which then costs us, people who do not steal, actually cost us. They're hurting other people in their community, but I guess they really don't care because they feel like they're owed their reparations. So, yeah, interesting. So that's the lovely world in which we live in, and just. There's all kinds of videos and all kinds of things about Biden whining and crying about different things. But a funny kind of thing that happened in Canada over this last week is that the Canadian Parliament honored and gave a standing ovation to a former Nazi. Yeah, they did that. Yep, there's video of them giving a standing ovation. I think it was several times too, because the reason is because this guy fought for Ukraine against the Soviets, right? He fought against Russia as a former Waffen-SS Nazi, and they gave him a standing ovation. The whole parliament stood up and gave, you got this old guy just standing there, just sitting there, and he's just probably feeling so proud he's getting honored for committing atrocities or being in the party that committed a whole bunch of atrocities. So that was brilliant, great move there by Canada. So later on, the Canadian government was kind of rolling that back a little bit. They were it was just, let me pull this up here, what they had to say.
Waffen-SS officer was in attendance during the Ukrainian president's visit to Parliament, whereas on Friday, September 22nd, a former member of the Nazi Waffen-SS was admitted to and recognized in Parliament as the Ukrainian president visited the House, whereas it is the job of the Prime Minister of Canada to ensure the success of all visits to Canadian soil by foreign dignitaries.
All right, so there's that, and let's see, there's this other part here.
On Friday, a Nazi was given not only a seat in the chamber, but also given a very warm and honoring welcome. Now, this never should have happened. In fact, a list of all guests was given to this government well ahead of time and was thoroughly vetted. Yet somehow this individual was celebrated. So does the Liberal government truly expect Canadians to believe that they really had no clue?
Mr. Speaker, I have clearly laid the facts on the table several times today, and in fact, the only person who invited this individual and decided to recognize them was the Speaker of the House. The Parliamentary Protective Service followed all security protocols to ensure the security of the event. However, I agree with the member opposite. This should have never happened. This is profoundly embarrassing, profoundly disappointing to all members in this House and to all Canadians. And to that, we stand with all Canadian communities that are impacted and, of course, with Ukraine. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, this is the world in which we live. And then you got Justin Trudeau, the lovely Canadian Prime Minister. He's out there, and this is his excuse as to why this happened.
Obviously, it's extremely upsetting that this happened. The speaker has acknowledged his mistake. and has apologized. This is something that is deeply embarrassing to the Parliament of Canada and, by extension, to all Canadians. I think particularly of Jewish MPs and all members of the Jewish community across the country who are celebrating or commemorating Yom Kippur today. I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation, and continue our steadfast and unequivocal support for Ukraine.
Oh, okay. So that's his excuse, right? That's his doofus face's turd face's excuse. Is it's Russian propaganda and Russia disinformation. So, and when you've been caught with your pants down, what you do? Oh, you blame the other guy. Way the crap over there that didn't have anything to do with it. Oh my gosh. Oh. Well, I gotta listen to that again. Just, this is his excuse.
I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation, and continue our steadfast and unequivocal support for Ukraine, as we did last week with announcing further measures to stand with Ukraine in Russia's illegal war against it.
So that's their excuse. That is the excuse that Turd Face Doe is giving for the reason that they messed up, is because of Russia disinformation. Yeah, it's Russia's fault that we invited this guy who was a Waffen-SS Nazi, and we honored him. That's the reason. It wasn't anything else. It was just Russia. Oh, I mean, what a world we live in. You know what I'm saying? What a world we live in. It's great, isn't it? It's great. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful world. I mean, you sit there, you honor a Nazi, and then you blame somebody else for your big freaking mess up. Good job there. Nice. Excellent job. And then, can we please, stop at the Ukraine assistance when you look around and our cities are in ruin. Our cities are just horrific right now. I mean, like I've said this before. We have to secure, or we have to make sure our house is right before you can help anybody else. But just, in case you weren't aware of, and there's no like oversight as to where all these hundreds of billions of dollars are going. I mean, there's no accountability for where this money's going. I mean, there's obviously, they'll call it conspiracy theories, but they, the money laundering thing, who's getting rich off of our taxpayer money going to these people. But here's a little clip from Jesse Waters from Fox News, and he kind of lays out where some of the money is going that we're giving to Ukraine. And it's probably not to where you think.
$100 billion in aid. But did you know that we're not just buying them weapons?
We discovered the US government's buying seeds and fertilizer for Ukrainian farmers and covering the salaries of Ukraine's first responders. All 57,000 of them. That includes the team that trains this rescue dog named Joy to comb through the wreckage of Russian strikes looking for survivors.
Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second here. Now, being in a first responder and being in as a firefighter, EMT, yeah, I want to help out, some fellow brothers in that, but it's not the United States' job to fund that. Fund it yourself. Get it. Quit going on your last vacations. Quit flying here, for crying out loud, Vlad. And take care of your people. How much money is wasted when you fly around the world promoting yourself and wanting more money? Save that money and give it to actually people who need it. Quit wasting it, flying around the world with your hand out and asking for more.
Also funds the divers, who we saw clearing unexploded ammunition from the country's rivers to make them safe again for swimming and fishing.
Okay, so we're defunding our police but funding Ukraine's police. and seed money? Did you know your tax dollars are bailing out small businesses in Ukraine?
Russia's invasion shrank Ukraine's economy by about a third. We were surprised to find that to keep it afloat, the US government is subsidizing small businesses, like Tatiana Abramova's knitwear company.
These are Ukrainian tags. That's Kyiv, I recognize.
Yeah. So we're paying Ukrainians to make cardigans. After Iraq and Afghanistan, I was convinced the United States had sworn off nation building, but we haven't. And what's the difference between nation building and money laundering? I don't know. Because the Pentagon failed its last 5 audits. And the Pentagon just announced they can't account for $6 billion in Ukraine. And on top of that, President Zelensky just sacked his defense minister for graft. Don't worry. The Clinton Global Initiative has announced it's in charge of Ukraine reconstruction. So this is turning into an international financial war crime layered over actual war crimes.
Yep, there you go. That's where your money's going, is to help out the first responders, help out 57,000 of them, to help small businesses. But I'll be damned if they're going to help out Americans. Yeah, so our standards have been lowered. Our standards are, and I'm tired of the nation building. Who's going to build us if we fall? There's not going to be a single nation out there that's going to help build the United States if something happens to us. No, it's not going to happen. So, yeah. So the whole thing, our standards are being lowered. These people are demanding reparations, and I apologize, my stupid computer is making all kinds of noises at the moment, and I wish it would shut up. Anyway, so yeah, that's where the money's going. The hundreds of billions of dollars are going to some dog that sniffs out, people that get been hurt. That's where the money's going. That might sound insensitive or uncaring, but yes, you help people out so they can do it themselves, and they can. That's what we did. That's what we did to make our country. There was help from the French, and then we did it ourselves. To start this country, we had some help out from the French, and then we did it ourselves. We made our country great. We didn't get a whole bunch of handouts from other people, and the founders didn't want to get entangled in the European wars. Napoleon was going around. They didn't want to get entangled in all that. That's why we have the Louisiana. The Louisiana Purchase came from. We bought all that from France so that we can expand the United States, and they could continue their little war. He could continue his war in Europe. So let's get out of that. Let's raise our standards, because who's going to build us if we fall? I don't know. I don't know if there will be one. Somebody's going to be out. Canada is Turdo going to help us rebuild America if something happens to us? I very, very much doubt it. So that's the lovely news of the day. So what a world do we live in? So I'm going to play this little funny thing. There's a whole bunch of other videos that I was debating on playing, or little clips that I wanted to play, but I don't think I will. But so I'm going to play this. It's from Last Man Standing, the Tim Allen sitcom here, where he's so I want to play a little fun thing from that. Maybe, lighten up the mood a little bit. That'll be kind of fun.
What are you doing?
Cleaning a flintlock musket from the Revolutionary War while enjoying bacon and biscuits. This is what our forefathers died for.
Can you do that in your den?
The Bill of Rights says I can do this whenever I want to do.
Well, what if your 2-year-old grandson walked in here?
It overpowers me?
Your back could be turned. You could be reaching for a piece of bacon.
Yeah, you could grab the musket out of my hand, shove me to the ground, pour the correct amount of powder in here, take the ramrod, jam it down there. Get a musket ball, put that in there, take the ramrod back out, action cap in there, fully cock the thing, and somehow shoot me in the foot.
Just keep the safety on.
Honey, this whole gun is the safety. It's a miracle we're not speaking British right now.
I found that on one of the TikToks, and I thought that was funny. I liked that. I liked Tim Allen. So anyway, that's the show for today. As always, please follow, like, subscribe, share. Kate and Eric Show on Facebook page, and then on X and TikTok. Oh, and I forgot to mention the YouTube channel. Yeah, Kate and Eric Show on X, YouTube, and then TikTok. Yeah, where you can find some more of my videos and other things that I post. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Like I said, if you want more content, go to those other socials and you can see some other things that I did not get to today, or get to on the regular podcast show, because there's a lot. There is a lot. And I would be spending probably a good 5 to 7 hours doing this. Maybe one day when I finally have broken through, and thanks to you guys, so please pass this along, so that we can have more of this amazing content, because there's a whole lot more. There's just different things that Fetterman said, and then all kinds of, in fact, the whole reason we went into the standards is because of this guy. So actually I will play this little clip here.
My message to the CEOs is, it's $74 million, collectively earning that. How many yachts can they need, the water ski behind it? It's just crazy. I don't understand it. What? It's $74 million, collectively earning that. How many yachts can they need, the water ski behind it? It's just crazy.
What in the hell is he talking about?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
And remain steadfast in our commitment that Iran must never acquire a nuclear weapon. Now, even as we evolve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships, let me be clear.
Please do.
Would you repeat that?
Now, even as we evolve our institutions, I want to be clear and consistent. That's not
I
happening.
forgot this little montage, a whole bunch of other things, but yep, that's the leaders of our nation right now. You've got Joe Biden, you've got a senator, and yep. So like I said, if you want to follow, like, subscribe, please share, rate on iTunes or wherever it is that you listen to your podcast, because then more people will be able to listen to it and see it, and the algorithms will send this out to more people. So please do that. I appreciate it. Hopefully you have a great weekend. There was one thing, kind of a personal note that I wanted to get to, is I wanted to do a little, I don't know what to call it, a shout out. Just sounds inappropriate, but I will ask people. I've never really asked anybody, but besides a little following and all that kind of stuff, but I've never really asked for prayers or anything like that. We did have a death in the family. My stepson's dad, he actually passed away on Sunday. So if you could find it in your heart to keep my stepson and his family in your thoughts and prayers, I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean a lot as we kind of deal with that right now. So I really appreciate it. If you do, I'm not going to give names out here. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So I appreciate it. You guys are a great audience. I love to see more people coming in I love to see more people where it's being downloaded and listened to. So I appreciate it a lot. It means so much. You guys are great. And I will talk with you next week. Hopefully, the Astros will make it to the playoffs. It'll be a good weekend. It'll be a good next Thursday to talk. If not, well, then I guess there's football. So, anyway, hopefully you have a great week, and I will talk with you next time. Bye-bye.